Hey, boys and girls, it's Mr. Dovey, and today's mini lesson is going to be on making higher level predictions. So, the last mini lesson that I did with you was on making predictions, thinking about what's going to happen next in the story. And I think we can all agree that some predictions are a little easier to make than others. For example, if you don't eat breakfast before you go to school, you're probably going to be hungry. If you don't apply sunscreen on a hot day, you're more than likely going to get a sunburn. And if you don't study for a test, you're probably not going to get the grade that you'd hope for. So those are pretty easy predictions. But some predictions are a little bit more complicated and a little bit harder to do. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to read you the beginning of chapter 1, A Crazy Day with Cobras. That's the next story that we're going to be reading, and you all have the books. What I'm going to do is I'll read you the very beginning of chapter 1. I want you to think about the characters. I want you to think about what's going on in the story. And I want you to start making some predictions about what you think is going to happen next and how that's going to happen. All right, here we go. Chapter 1, A Terrible Mistake. The weather's getting warmer, said Jack. He and Annie were walking home from school under a cloudless May sky. A warm breeze blew through the leaves on the newly green trees. I love it, said Annie. It makes me feel something good is going to happen. Something good already happened, said Jack. My teacher finally gave me back my story today. The one about the adventures in the treehouse, asked Annie. Yep. She said I have a fantastic imagination, said Jack. Great, said Annie. And she loved your drawings from the story, too, said Jack. She said you're really talented. That's nice, said Annie. Maybe she loved the sparkle pens that I used. The only thing that she didn't love was the type I chose, said Jack. She said it was really hard to read. It was just a little too fancy. I really like that curly type, said Annie. Me too, said Jack. But it's no big deal. She gave me an A+. Wow, cool, said Annie. As they reached the edge of Frog Creek, a gust of wind shook the tree branches, and Jack's baseball cap flew off. He grabbed his cap from the sidewalk, and the wind began to blow much harder. What's happening? Said Annie. Suddenly, two figures rushed out of the woods, their dark cloaks flapped behind them as they hurried toward Jack and Annie. Teddy, said Annie. Kathleen, said Jack. The red-haired teenage boy and the beautiful girl with dark, wavy hair ran to Jack and Annie and hugged them. You must come with us to the treehouse, said Kathleen, and hurry. Why? What's up? Said Jack. We'll explain when we get there, said Teddy. He and Kathleen started back to the woods as Jack and Annie raced after them. Soon they all came to the tallest oak tree. Up, up, cried Teddy. One by one, Teddy, Kathleen, Jack, and Annie scrambled up the rope ladder and climbed into the magic tree house. When they were all inside, Teddy heaved a sigh. My friends, we desperately need your help, he said. What's wrong? Asked Annie. We made a terrible mistake, said Kathleen. No, it was just me, said Teddy. I made the mistake. Well, what did you do? Asked Jack. I turned Penny into a stone statue, said Teddy. Penny, said Annie. A statue? Oh, no, said Jack. He loved the little orphan penguin that he and Annie had found on one of their adventures. Penny had helped save Merlin's life. It was an accident, said Kathleen. It was stupidity, said Teddy. We were in Morgan's library, and I was looking at spells in her books. Morgan forbids us to try any of her spells on our own, but I disobeyed when I found a simple one that turns things into stone. I thought I'd just give it a quick try. I turned an apple and a goblet of water all into stone. Teddy was pointing at a walking stick by the door, reacting to the words of the spell, said Kathleen. And just as he finished, Penny wandered in and the spell hit her. And now she's a stone statue, Teddy said miserably. All right, well, I'm going to stop there. And I'm going to make a prediction. And the first prediction I'm going to make is what I think is going to happen next. And I have a little background knowledge of the Magic Tree House books, and I usually think that the kids generally go on some type of a mission. So I'm going to write down my what is they're going to go on a mission. Okay. And then I'm also going to write that they're going to reverse the spell on Penny. All right. That's what I think that they're going to do while they're on their mission. All right. Do I know for sure? No. But that's what I think is going to happen. The next thing I'm going to do, this is a little bit harder. This is the how. I'm going to try to make a prediction about how they think they're going to reverse the spell on Penny. Well, I don't know. I have to make a prediction. This one's a little harder for me. The title of the story is A Crazy Day with Cobras. So my prediction is going to be that the kids will find a way to use the cobras to reverse the spell on Penny. All right. So that one for me was a little bit more difficult. The how. So this is what you're going to do, boys and girls, from now on. When you're making higher level predictions, you're going to continue to read in the story and you're going to start paying attention to the characters and what they're doing in the story. And then when you get to a certain point where it leads you to make a prediction, stop and jot, get a Post-it, make a prediction about what you think is going to happen in the story, and then how you think it's going to happen in the story. And then once you find out, go back to your Post-it notes and check to see if your what and your how were correct. And if they weren't, just make some changes. All right, boys and girls, it's your turn. Good luck.